Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Brian. If you're new around here, we've got to dive right into the news. Microsoft just purchased Activision Blizzard, or they have now intended to purchase. It's going to close sometime around the fiscal year 2023. All of Activision Blizzard. This is all of their IPs and properties for themselves, making them the third biggest publisher, video game publisher in the world, just behind Sony and Tencent. I think this is more actually in response to the Zynga purchase, especially as it relates to mobile, because mobile makes up a huge amount of money, a huge amount of the video game market. And you might not agree, it depends on where you consider yourself as a gamer, but overall, I think a big part of this is mobile. Another big shout out, or another big reason why this is happening, is because so many people have been frustrated with obviously World of Warcraft and all of what has been going on over at Activision Blizzard, driving that stock price down, making it ripe for acquisition. And speaking of which, guys, one of the things, if you can help me out, there is a clip of Chris and I talking about specifically this exact thing happening. And I don't think it was that long ago, probably within the last month, saying that as the stock price continues to fall, that's going to make them ripe. And you're going to probably look at seeing Microsoft purchase them. I'm still looking for this clip myself. I'm just blown away by it. So here is the details. Here's what you need to know about this acquisition. 67 billion dollars. Microsoft will acquire Activision Blizzard for $95 per share in an all-out cash transaction valued at $68.7 billion. Billion. That is phenomenal. Including all of Activision Blizzard's net cash. When the transaction closes, Microsoft will become the world's third largest gaming company by revenue, behind Tencent and Sony. And planned acquisition includes iconic franchises from Activision Blizzard and King Studios like Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Candy Crush. Candy Crush being listed here, I think, is one of the real key aspects to this happening and why it ultimately is happening. So this naturally leads me into the questions that I have for you guys. Do you see this as a win? Do you look at the IP? Because typically when we saw Bethesda's acquisition by Microsoft, we saw a lot of Sony PlayStation fans say, oh, we don't even like those games anyway. Do you feel like that way about Activision Blizzard with its franchises, or have they been in managed decline? Now, personally speaking, if you've been following my content, you know that I feel like a lot of their IP has been in managed decline for some time now. Activision has usually had that mindset. So the question is that will we continue to see that managed decline, or with this new investment, this new acquisition, will we see a rejuvenated creative spirit? Microsoft actually already had past employees moved over into Activision Blizzard right before all this kind of chaos with the company blew up. And so I think that it makes like a really easy or smoother transition for people to kind of assume their roles. Mike Ybarra, for one of them, as an example. But then you look at Diablo and all the kind of announced franchises that had just continued to exist out there. Diablo 4 being one of those. Overwatch 2, which I don't think should personally exist. If anything happens from this that's a real positive, is that they take the investment they've been making in Overwatch 2 and funnel that all into just Overwatch, making that just a property rather than some kind of annualized franchise. One of the things that Activision has done. Warzone, I think, is a huge acquisition. And also, like we said earlier, Candy Crush, I think, is massive. The question comes down to is World of Warcraft. What does the future of that game look like? Is that now going to be a part of Xbox Game Pass PC? It is a subscription-based MMORPG where Elder Scrolls Online is not. And speaking of which, we know just from yesterday, Elder Scrolls Online, the team ZeniMax Online is actually working on a brand new IP and hiring and staffing up for that one as well. And so I'm wondering if some of these pieces aren't coming together in some kind of grand scheme of it to kind of have more market share as it relates to MMORPGs. I don't know why. I think essentially it's interesting to see so many more companies investing in that genre, but that's perhaps another video for another day. But back to the kind of the questions that I have for you guys. What do you see Sony doing in response? Now, we covered earlier this month, January, about how it looks like Final Fantasy games are rumored to be exclusive to PlayStation and PC going forward, but that Sony did not actually all out go and purchase Square Enix. It looks like that's some kind of massively timed exclusive deal for the company themselves. Do you see that Sony has to respond to this in terms of just market share and mind share, because we've already seen them have big deals, big exclusive deals with what Activision would do with their exclusive pieces of content. And I think, does that mean that Microsoft's going to continue to publish these games over on the PlayStation, or are we going to see those shift to Xbox, PC going forward, thus further segmenting the gaming community in not necessarily a positive way? You guys, if you're new here, it should hopefully be a surprise, but I am console agnostic. I do not care for specific exclusives. I'm fine with timed exclusives. I feel like I always got to say, like, I get the business of the timed exclusive, but console specific exclusives, especially in the era of PC gaming that has been basically kind of where all the games end up anyway, seems to be kind of the best, gaming experience going forward. And it feels like we're regulating consoles unfairly at this point in time. But I get that, how the industry used to work is the thing of that people kind of hold on to for a little bit. Now, woo, guys, this is insane. This is massive news. And at the end of the day, yeah, it feels cool to kind of have called it. It feels cool to be like, I want to go find that clip and send that out, and hopefully you guys enjoy that, like that gem from the past. I've been continually wondering what's going to go on over in Japan, if there's going to be any kind of acquisitions or partnerships. And typically in Japan, we see, like with Nintendo, they'll buy some of you buy some of them, and that kind of like facilitates this kind of like alignment. But Microsoft has repeatedly said, Phil Spencer has repeatedly said that they're looking for more E-rated games to add as a part of Game Pass. And this doesn't necessarily hit that E rating outside of like Candy Crush, right? You got a lot of teen and M-rated games now owned by Microsoft in this field. So that's the question to you guys. How do you see this playing out? What do you want to know next? And does this change your mind about Activision Blizzard? Does this restore faith in World of Warcraft? So many things that we're going to be discussing here over the coming weeks. Guys, thanks for listening. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know if you do so I can welcome you to the channel. But without further ado, that's good. That's the end of the video. Love you guys. Love you faces. Hopefully I'll see you soon. But until then, take care.
I just want to say I'm really glad you're feeling better, and I love the videos. Well, I love you too. Michelle? Shoot for the moon, and so even if you fail, you'll reach the stars. Go for the 100K subscribers. Yeah.